The Leaving Today podcast, the show about the news, history, and attractions of the Disneyland Resort.
Well, come on, Wendy. Let's go.
But where are we going?
To Neverland.
Neverland.
Hello. Welcome to the Leaving Today podcast, episode number 114. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, today, this afternoon, this morning, wherever and whenever you can join us. We really do appreciate it. My name is Mark, one of the co-hosts here. Sitting across from me is the game changer herself, Jazz.
Hello.
Sitting to the right of me is the trail master of puppets, Oogie.
Yeah, that's all I got. Good evening.
Good evening,
Yep.
sir. Thank you so much again for everyone joining us. If this is your first time tuning in, thank you for doing so. We hope you find the water to be very warm and inviting. Sometimes it's a little chilly, but that's okay.
We all know why.
We all know why.
That one.
And if you are a returning listener, welcome home. So let's see. Tonight we are going to be talking about DCA with a special guest, Sam Carter. He was on an earlier show with us, and we welcome him back because he's got some pretty interesting insights. And we talked to all you listeners on Instagram about DCA and about maybe 5 reasons why it could be a little bit better than Disneyland. Although we all don't think it is, but we're going to come up with some reasons why it could be.
That's not possible.
That's not possible.
Yeah.
It's blasphemy, actually. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, if you would like to support this show, because this show was brought to you by our awesome listeners, and you guys are getting packages soon, I might add. I'm looking at a couple things right in front of me that we're going to be sending you.
Yep, waiting for the mail.
Yes. You can go to leavingtodaypodcast.com and check out the Patreon link and support us. We make it easy, the $1, $3, or $5. We've got a pretty cool family on there right now. And then for that, you get to be on the show and come up with a topic, and we send you special messages. Udi's done it. I've done it. We need to get Jess in there in that mix too. But hopefully more of that.
Well, you know...
What?
My ranting as of late has been very, very negative and not Disney related.
That's true.
I picked up my phone probably 4 times, and then I de-evolve into a rant that isn't on point.
Oh,
so I've been like, okay, I can't put that out.
For sure.
And I try again, and then like, I can't put that one out.
For sure.
I start throwing F-bombs. It becomes ugly. Yeah, I get mad.
You don't want you don't want to be talking about Frozen. That's what I mean, F-bombs.
Because when it comes out and then I start dropping that, I had one about it, Frozen 2 being better than Frozen.
Uh-oh.
And then it became a big debate in my own head. It was pretty ugly. It turned ugly.
Don't need that.
Oh, yeah.
You can...
Olaf was trying to be the ref. It was,
You can check with us on Patreon and support us any way you like. It can be a one-time payment or a recurring payment, but anything helps. Also, you can go to tpublic.com and search for Leaving Today podcast and find your favorite T-shirt. We're going to have more coming out soon. And then... what else is there? If you want to shop on Amazon, we also have an Amazon link. No one ever uses it, so I'm not sure I'm talking about it. But
I do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Okay, then I use it. So again, if you go to leavingtodaypodcast.com, look at the Amazon link, click on that, and do all your shopping. Yeah. We are in just finishing up the second quarter of 2020. The parks are still closed, and I was thinking about this the other day. That it is the middle of summer, and for the last probably 4 or 5 years, one of my summer traditions has been going to the park, probably for like a 3-day trip or a 4-day trip, once in the summer and then once in the fall. But that's not happening. It just feels like something's missing, man. Mm-hmm. What do you guys think? Yeah.
I had the conversation with Joey.
Who's that?
some random guy.
Okay.
The other day what were we doing?
Drinking.
I was
Well,
at Cove Bar 3 years ago.
Oh yeah, I remember that. You sent me that picture. I think we were building that tiki bar.
The tiki bar. Oh, yeah.
But I did make a comment that we would have been in the park now. I think 3 times. I think it would have been done already. I would have been probably there 3 times.
Okay.
And yeah, definitely gone. You can feel that vacuum of that. Not only do we have a world or a country that we live in that feels off,
Yeah.
then we have the one thing that we use as a grounder, probably, or a something to center. One of our many
Yes. Yep.
tools, and that has been taken out. So yeah, definitely a lot not okay.
All right, Jasmine.
Frozen.
Do you feel like your summer's lacking right now?
Well, yeah, we go every year. Shannon and I go every year, so it's definitely lacking. But I'm okay with it because I'm broke as a homeless person under a bridge that is made of cardboard. So
Oh shoot! I was gonna ask you for a loan after this.
yeah,
show.
I got it. You take Monopoly money,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I wouldn't have been able to afford the parks anyways right now.
Yeah. No, I totally get that as well. It's just but something is missing, and so we gotta try to reconcile that.
Is that you guys, or is there something under the table?
I think there's something under the table.
Okay. Oh yeah, I see it. Okay.
Okay. We have a little visitor. We have a little kitten here named Nola that's actually biting my foot at the moment.
Oh,
But she's okay.
just kick her.
Okay, so...
No one send the cops on me because
Yeah.
I said to kick the cat.
Yeah.
please.
Oh, there you go. Tonight's opening question is, what is your favorite Disneyland attraction vehicle?
Vehicle?
Yes, attraction
So I don't
ve-
have to like the ride.
Nope, not at all.
Disneyland, not DCA.
Well, tonight we're doing Disneyland. Maybe next time we'll do DCA. It could be iconic. It could be like, oh, I really like how I fit in this vehicle. Or, man, if I had the money, I'd want one of those in my front room. Or I just like the way it looks. Or, I don't know.
It's a hard question.
But it's interesting. Yeah.
I'm running it around in my head right now.
Okay.
I have 3.
And it doesn't
In
have
my
to.
head,
It doesn't have to
yeah.
be practical. Like
Yep.
it could be one of the galleons from
Right.
from Pirates.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh my God! What if that was in your front room, and your TV, you're facing your TV, you could sit there and watch that.
That'd be perfect.
It'd be perfect. For me, I
Just
think.
that you know the answer for yourself already, don't you?
Oh no, I don't. I mean, there's no wrong answer for me. But I mean, my initial thought was I've always thought the bobsleds were iconic and cool. Just to have, because if you had one in your front room or whatever, or if you had a party and you go, oh look what I have in this back room, and you have like someone goes, what, you have that bobsled in your room, and people would automatically want to sit in it.
Yeah, for Mark it'd be like, heck yeah.
Heck yeah!
Yep.
But then again, I would want also a Jungle Cruise boat.
Yep.
But that's silly. But for me, I'll lead off. I'll say a Matterhorn bobsled.
Okay.
Okay. Ooh, but wait a minute. What about a Skyway bucket? Ah, my gosh, there's too many answers.
okay.
See? That's the problem.
Okay.
Okay.
Skyway bucket jumped in my head.
Yes.
Then I got a dune buggy.
Oh, yes, a Doom buggy. I didn't even think about that.
Think about that one. You could put that in the corner of the room, and then
Sorry.
take pictures or whatever. And then the other one I had is the Indy car
Yeah.
from Indy,
Yes.
and then the Jungle Cruise boat. So any of those would be A-okay with me.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that would be awesome. Any of those would be awesome to have that. See,
I love it. Look, deep thought
and this is good.
with Jess Farfan right now.
See, this is not what I was thinking when you said that. So I had something totally different for you, Woody.
Oh, what did you think?
Hold on before you answer.
Okay.
Okay.
This is actually great. Jess is sparking up a little bit here with this topic. This
Wake up,
question.
wake up, lady. We all been working.
You know, we need to get Judge Broach as a sponsor and get those
Oh my
guys.
God.
I could
Oh,
use
I
something
would love
right
it.
now. I could
Oh,
use a
no.
kicker right now.
I'd use a rebel right now.
Actually, I don't even know what a kicker is.
No, a Dragon Slayer rebel right now would be perfect.
Dragon Slayer Rebel.
Rebel. Yep.
I don't even know what that is, but okay. I know Rebel is their version of Red Bull, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So Jess is vacillating between probably
Yeah.
three.
How many? Okay. How many do you have right now in your head, Jess? How many?
4.
Should we, should we try to guess as to what they
I don't
are?
want to. I don't want.
I would like go ahead and take a guess on the one that I am gonna say.
Oh, okay.
Go. No, you go ahead, Mark.
No, Udi, you go first.
I'm going
sir.
to do a boat from Book.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't even go there in my head. That's
Yeah,
a good.
for her.
That is a great
For
call.
her,
That
yeah.
is a great call.
Right?
And
That's
if
one
that's
of
the
them.
answer, which boat is it?
Yeah.
It would,
Mar-
be, it would
Mar-
be your boat, the one you had the most, right?
Flow. Is it the one with F? Fluana.
Alice. I would always get on Alice.
There you
Alice
go.
or Wendy were my two
Yeah.
Oh,
my
okay.
girls. But no, that's not right.
Oh,
No, really?
Oh shoot!
That's
That
not
that
right.
that.
Out of here. Get the Frozen out
That's
of here.
not right.
Ooh, could it be a teacup?
That's cute, but no.
Oh no, but my
Alice
guess.
in Wonderland, the worm.
My guess. My guess wasn't even any of that. That would be another good one. Oh my God! Wait a minute. What about Peter Pan? But no, it would be. My guess is Train Car from Big Thunder because that's one of your favorite tracks.
I do
So,
like that one.
That
Yeah.
was on my list.
Okay.
That was
No.
number 5.
It's something that's not even aesthetically pleasing.
Okay.
Is it symbolic to you? Or
No, absolutely not.
is it symbolic to the park? Like, okay, if someone saw this car, would they go, "That is this"? Or-
Absolutely not.
oh, they would not know
No
what this.
way.
Let me think about that.
And if it's solely because you said if I could put it in my house,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
so would it?
canoe.
It would fit.
that's kind of cool. But no,
It would fit in this room right now.
absolutely not.
Okay, and it can't be Mark
Oh.
Twain.
No,
Okay.
because in my world, I'm envisioning that I have all the money in the world,
Sure.
Right.
so that I can use this for something.
Yeah. Typical.
Okay, a small world boat would be great to just chastise Udi.
Yeah, I know. I thought
It
that.
would be, but-
no.
That is an
not
answer.
it either.
Okay.
Submarine.
No,
Oh.
Mark gets one more guess, and then you guys are done.
Then we're done.
Okay, well, what? I mean, I'm trying to think of everything that's. Is this one of your favorite attractions?
Absolutely not.
Okay. And this is at Disneyland. This isn't the Mickey's Fun Wheel.
Correct. This
Okay.
is a Disneyland.
Okay.
Gonna be the
No, I'm not Michael Jackson.
the,
I'm
the
not
rise of resistance car.
That's what I thought you were going to pick.
Yep. No.
Did it even enter your mind?
No, I don't think that
for
was that
for
fun.
like a bit. Like it went in and went out.
Okay.
Be nice to Woody.
Yeah, don't. Okay. Let's see. What other attraction vehicle have we not named that Jess would want? And she does not like this attraction. So that means it could be Star Tours. Yes. I do know that she does not like Star Tours.
Yeah, but no, that wouldn't work in her. Unless you're doing it as a movie theater, then that would be kind of cool.
Pinocchio. It could be. No, wait a minute. This is not sentimental to her at all. Is this sentimental to you at all?
Absolutely not.
No.
Okay, so it's not a Fantasyland ride. Shoot, I don't know. I'm gonna just. All these things are.
There's a lot of things.
Yeah.
Kitty.
Oh, I'm just gonna say, the Winnie the Pooh honey thing.
No.
Okay.
Star Tours. I would use it as a movie theater.
Oh, good job, right there. Absolutely right. Good
And
answer.
that's exactly what you said.
Okay,
Good
thank
answer
you.
right
I'm like,
there.
Yeah.
I'm like
I would
looking at her,
use it
going,
as a movie theater.
Oh, we would totally broadcast from there
yeah.
as long as that thing didn't move.
I mean, eventually it would.
Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. Good answer. So when you listeners at home or wherever you guys are, if you come up with something, let us know and put it on the show comments for this one on Instagram so we can hear what you want to say.
Yeah, that would be very, very interesting.
We do not.
Yeah.
Yep.
And maybe I'll post that on there.
Yeah.
Cool.
We don't vote.
All right. So with that as opening question, now let's go to the news.
You listen to me now. You are talking about things that you do not understand.
Okay. We have some news items tonight. Disneyland Park is still closed. That's first news item.
Shocker.
I know, shocker. Okay, first news item is Black Spire Day, Harvest Festival, and Life Day seasonal celebrations coming to Star Wars Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland and Disney World. Yeah, if you happen to snag a copy of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, Traveler's Guide to Batuu, you might have noticed that the book goes into detail about the in-park experience and what we might even see come to Batuu over time. This primarily took form in the details of 3 seasonal events titled Black Spire Day, Harvest Festival, and Life Day. It is now rumored that these events would be coming to Disneyland and Walt Disney World. Black Spire Day would celebrate the founding of Black Spire Outpost and take place on May 4th.
That would be perfect.
That'd be a great Star Wars day.
Yep.
I mean, overall, just to have that with everything that's going on. And then Batuian, I don't know how to say that, Batuian Harvest Festival, celebrating the natural resource that grows on Batuu. Golden lichen, I don't know what that word is, lichen, I guess. Black Spire Outpost would become adorned with golden decorations. This event would coincide with the Halloween festivities that Disney parks are known for and provide seasonal decorations and unique food and beverage offerings. I like that. Life Day.
Yum.
Yeah.
You would like that, yeah.
Of course.
I would.
In the 1978 Star Wars Holiday Special, we learned how those in the Star Wars universe celebrated the holiday season with Life Day, which is a traditional Wookiee holiday.
Right.
This occasion would now be celebrated at the parks during our regular holiday season. While none of these events are confirmed, it is suspicious that they would be randomly added to the book. The author said, "I personally love to see Life Day with Chewbacca. Which of these events sounds the most exciting to you?"
Well, Life Day has been mentioned.
Yeah.
More recently. You know where?
Not on The Mandalorian. Was it on there?
Episode 1.
Oh, I've only seen episode 1 once. I'm sorry.
Okay, well,
no, I've seen it twice.
Okay. Yeah, the bounty, he's like, oh, yeah, I'm on my way back home for Life Day.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's
Yep.
right.
I like all of them.
Sure.
One of the main critique of the land has been not enough to do.
Sure.
Which I've had my thoughts on that, and we've talked about on the show. But that having these would be great. I mean, you break them out throughout the year, would be another reason, and then it would add a new layer, and then bring people further into the universe, which to me is great.
The more the merrier.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But this also goes to something about, we talked about this a few shows ago, where when things start returning back to what we want to be known as normal, back when we can roam around the parks and stuff, is that I hope that they do more guest experiences versus pumping money into attractions at this point in time. We all want Tomorrowland to redone. We all got that. Oh, Jess says no. Hold on. What's
No,
that?
I was just saying not going to happen.
What's not going to happen?
They're not going to put money into, or they're not going to do the guest experience thing. They're going to pump money into attractions to get more people out, or to more people in, so they can make the money that they've lost.
That alone, the topic right here,
Yeah.
we could make a whole show, because we could battle back and forth, because it would become a whether which strategy would work.
Sure.
Whether you improve the personnel experience and then bring them in that way, or you go by basically a quality quantity argument.
Sure.
So it would be, I don't know.
Should we explore that further down the road?
It might be.
Maybe.
Right now, we don't know. And, looking at what we have seen from Disney parks, I would lean towards agreeing with Jess on that.
Sure.
But we're in an extraordinary time. I don't know.
Well,
Exactly.
And I don't know either. But it's actually probably worth talking about. So maybe we will put a pin on this.
Maybe we can. I think we should. Maybe dig a little bit more,
Yeah.
and then kind of go from there. Yeah.
Because I have a feeling, and I mentioned this to you on our bike ride the other day, that this Splash Mountain thing may not happen anytime soon.
Yeah, we had that. Yeah.
I mean, for many reasons, other than they just don't have the money.
Right.
And they budget everything out
Oh, yeah, for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it could be a while before we see anything of a retheming of that.
Yeah.
And
Which then again, and then during our conversation, I was like, well, then it made me get a little bit more irritated at the timing of them releasing the info.
Sure.
But I want to agree with you. I agree with you that we will probably not have that for a few years.
Right. And in fact, Annika the other day mentioned, are we going to be able to ride Splash Mountain before they close it down? I go, well, first off, they have to open the park, but I assume that they do. I go, I think it's going to be. I think we'll have plenty of time to open.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yep.
I agree.
But okay, so putting money into guest experiences versus attractions, let's definitely do that in the future episode. And we'll solicit help from listeners on that. Okay. But anyways, I think it's a home run with adding these new festivities to Batuu, especially during Halloween season, and so. I think that's going to look spectacular over there, and I can imagine them maybe having some orange or green lights, illuminating.
And then you're going to have every CM over there completely in on it and celebrating also.
Sure.
So yeah, it'll be very, very, very good. Even though I will tell you right now, that I have watched video of Orlando. And what they've done to reopen, and I am, what is the word?
Jealous?
No, disturbed, flabbergasted at how awful it looks. But anyway.
Okay. You mean as far as the restrictions go? And,
yeah. I mean, even walking into Rise, I'm like, oh my God, you ruined half of the experience. But anyway.
Oh, is Rise of the Resistance open?
Yep.
I didn't even know that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. And it is awful.
Why is it awful?
Awful. Because
Well, think about it.
Everything that they've done for, and I'm air quoting it, safety.
Yeah.
Breaks theme.
Oh.
Everything. You cannot go in there and escape.
I mean, okay.
Because, do you want me to tell you? For everybody, spoilers incoming if you haven't ridden it. I will give you a 5-second warning. Okay.
Okay.
If you're still here and you hear it, I apologize, but your own fault. So we will begin with the main thing. The main thing that they have all done is the face mask, okay? Now, they're all using the surgical grade, which are that ugly blue and white, okay? They're not doing anything at all to theme those at all. So you're walking around, and you walk into Batuu, and everybody has those on. And then you're automatically going, okay, I'm not in Batuu, I am in Orlando. And then they are also wearing the face shield.
Oh, no.
So you look at them, and again, nothing to theme it, to try to even make it part of, and be able to make it part of the story. Nothing. We go there. And that, as we have commented before, is part of that attraction, having the CMs be all the way in, and they make it, they add that extra cherry on top. Then they have plastic partition everywhere.
Oh.
And you lose that human contact, and it makes it very... It was bad. Like, I could barely watch the whole video. Knowing that I've been on that attraction as many times and experiencing it, and it never dropping, then watching the video, I'm like, oh my God. Like, I was talking to my phone, going, oh my God, oh my God.
So
and then
would
would go on, I'm like, oh my God.
Would you go on it?
I would, but it has killed it.
Sure.
And then, people, God bless them for trying to be positive about a lot of things, but I'm going to call it out. No, it isn't Star Wars. It isn't immersive, and it kills what they have, what they built, and what they worked so hard for. And I feel bad for the company and the CMs, and I feel especially horrible for every new person going in and riding that for the first time like that.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God! And so anyway, no, I'm gonna go. I mean, we've made that, decision. I'm gonna go. We have to figure out and get my own eyes on what is going on. But what I'm seeing right now, I am really not liking in any way, shape, or form.
No, it
Shoot.
be fun.
Okay. Well, I guess it's good we're closed then for now. Okay. Next news item is, unfortunately, the Oogie Boogie Bash has been canceled at Disney California
Shocker.
Adventure. I know. Right. Again,
Thank you, Gavin.
this is our fall, one of our fall classics, is that this Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party, I guess, changed the Oogie Boogie's Bash. What are they calling it now these days?
Yeah, the Oogie Boogie Bash.
Yeah.
Yeah, Oogie Boogie Bash, which is a fantastic event for the whole September and October. It's just, I think it's great. But it's been canceled, not due to lack of interest, but due to COVID-19 pandemic concerns. It seems Mr. Oogie Boogie won't be in for a scare this year at Disneyland Resort. Has announced that the separate admission event at DCA will not be returning this holiday season. Both Disneyland Park and Disney California Adventure remain shuttered as they await approval for reopening from state and local officials. According to the OC Register, a Disneyland official stated that preparation for the party, which begins in mid-September, takes ample planning. Without a reopening date even set, the resort is unable to host after-hour parties such as Oogie Boogie's Bash. The resort hopes to bring back the popular Halloween party in 2021. Disney has stated that it plans on sharing details on this year's Halloween time decor at a later time as the resort continues to work towards reopening. Again, not surprised, but disappointing to hear anyways. I mean, you knew it was coming, and it's just like, crud, it's happened.
Yeah, you knew it was going to.
And this is actually one of those things I would have tried to have gone to. Just because I love going to this, one of my favorite times of the year down there.
Oh, yeah. It's mine and Shannon's, too.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder if they could just open up DCA and let you walk around just to see all the decoration. Nah, the part takes too much time to quit that plan. Okay. That's a drag. Okay, last item is 3 downtown Disney tenants reopen. The downtown Disney district at Disneyland welcomed 3 tenants back to the shopping and dining complex last week. It has also updated its health and safety guidelines, according to Oogie. They had to contact Oogie and get him that.
Oh, of course.
California Soul reopened.
You don't want my guidelines.
No, I don't.
Yep.
California Soul reopened on Wednesday, July 22nd. It's a rebrand of the former Sanex shop and offers expanded selection of shoes and accessories. Also, Tortilla Joe's and Ballast Point Brewing Company will be open for lunch.
Oh, hey, good.
Yes.
I made that comment. We were talking about that again with Joe when we were working on Tiki Bar, and he was like, I want to go to Ballast Point. I'm like, at that point, it wasn't open. I'm like, not open. Yep.
Yeah, so Ballast Point Tortilla Joe's open for lunch and dinner service. Mexican menu for Tortilla Joe's, and Ballast Point has their bar food and probably a full selection of their beers. And then the regular health screening stuff. We don't need to go into that. So that is the news for this first week, or this last week of July. Oogie, yeah.
I do, before we move on, if we have a minute.
We do.
Adam brought up last show, we were talking, and it came up when we were doing our little Instagram live, and he brought up the rumor of Kathleen Kennedy being replaced or being gone, or whatever.
Oh yeah, that did come out. Yeah,
right. And I'm gonna go at it real quick here. He sent me an article. Thank you again. I read that. I went a little bit further and did more digging. There are multiple people or writers, or I'm going to air quote reporters, because those really don't exist anymore. They have said that she is on the outs, and they all are using one main point of reference, a guy on YouTube. Now, mind you, I have not watched the video because I do not like him.
Is this Mike Zero?
No. It is, I can't even think of his name. It slipped my mind.
I don't know these people. I just know that guy.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, they are saying he was correct when it came to what was going on with Last Jedi, and he has been accurate for a lot. So they are assuming he has an in there. With that being said, I call BS. I don't think so. I don't think
You don't think she's an
she
out?
will be, but not anytime soon.
I thought she was supposed to be at the end of this year.
It won't. No, it is for next year.
Okay.
They tried to, in the article, allude to the fact that they didn't reschedule Celebration for 2021 as a reason because she is contracted through 2021. But you want a quick debunk? No, they didn't do it because it is a D23 year. So anyway, I'm going to go right now until further info. I'm going with no, she ain't leaving anytime soon. I think she will write out her contract, and that'll be that. The other rumor is she is creating her own production company that is led entirely by women. But we'll find out. But anyway, there we go.
We'll check that out.
We will. I'll keep an eye on it.
I'll definitely watch some of that to see what's going on. But yeah, anyways, that is the news for this episode. Last week of July 2020. Mm-hmm. And coming up, we've One-on-One with Jess is dark tonight. So now let's go to our feature presentation.
And now for our feature presentation.
Hey there, LTP listeners. We want to welcome back a special guest of the show and friend of the show. This is an experienced designer in the theme park industry. He's currently he's at Wonderground. He's an artist at Wonderground in downtown Disney. It's Sam Carter. Hey, Sam.
How's it going? Thanks for having me back.
Of course, man. It's going great. How are you doing on this evening?
I'm good. Zero complaints. I think considering everything going on in the world, I am very lucky. So
yes,
I'm a happy guy.
Awesome, and we're lucky to have you on tonight. And if you could just refresh our listeners, and we've got some new listeners too who did not catch your show, and maybe a little bit of background about yourself so they know who you are.
Oh yeah, happy to. My favorite subject. No. So really briefly, I'm a huge Disney nerd. That's what it boils down to. I was growing up in the theme park industry. I live literally down the road from Disneyland. I grew up there, and I knew I always wanted to be in this industry, and I made it. Right out of high school, I worked at Disneyland in the parade department, and then I was in the parades for 10 years, driving floats, and then I got to be in charge of some of the drivers. And then my big show before I left parades was Block Party at DCA, fun subject that we're going to dive into today.
Yes.
And then I left the parade department to art direct events and fun character greetings and projects like that with creative entertainment. So I was in that big yellow building in the back, which is blue now from what I hear. But yeah, that big building in the back, I was in there for a while. And then I was doing that for about 7 years, and I left to go be creative director at USC. And in fact, I just quit USC this year to start my own business, which is Carter Creative, where I just do all my theme park design and experience and that type of stuff. So I work with, the Queen Mary in Long Beach and Winchester Mystery House, Great America. Still stuck with Disney because, like you mentioned, I'm a Wonderground artist. So I love having my artwork in the gallery, both at Disneyland and Disney World. And I actually do some other fun designs with Disney on the side too. So I'm everywhere.
Oh, I'm slightly envious of you, Sam. But cool. So and working.
That's why I can't complain. I think on Twitter. So if you find me kind of posting thoughts, and I get in trouble over there, but especially during the quarantine, I've been diving through all my own videos and stuff. So I actually started Tartar Sauce Theater. So I have my own YouTube channel. I've been plugging in a lot of been finding old videos from the 90s and 2000s, and it's just crazy all the stuff I was videotaping from Disneyland. So I've been kind of slowly editing all that together. And then you could check out samcarterart.com, and that's my basic, my Carter Creative business, where it shows a lot of the events I've worked on. It's kind of like my portfolio.
Okay, cool. We'll definitely put a link on that once the show drops.
There you go.
Cool.
Oh, cool.
Thanks.
Yeah. All right. So, Sam is joining us
So today's subject, it's a good one.
It's a good one. He's joining us tonight to talk about Disney California Adventure, that other park that's across the Esplanade, and maybe we come up with 5 reasons why it could be better than Disneyland. It has, or maybe five reasons why it has advantages over Disneyland. Does that sound like a good topic?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's kind of shocking, right?
What's that?
When you hear someone say that, it's kind of shocking. You're like, well, how could DCA ever be better than Disneyland? Disneyland
True.
could be considered the best theme park in the world.
Yeah.
But there's a lot. I think a local who goes there often would know there's a lot of advantages to DCA.
Yes, absolutely, and we're going to get into that. So, and we solicited help online from some listeners. So, how do you guys want to do this? Do you want to let we read those off first and we talk about them, or do you want to?
What is the rule?
The rule is Sam is also a listener.
I know, but we can go by we'll go. We'll go Instagram.
Okay, so
Yep.
we'll talk about that real quick, and then we're gonna have we'll comment on that, and then
Yeah.
okay. Holy cow, we got a lot.
Yeah, we got a few.
I don't even know what
People really chimed in on this.
Yeah, it's good. Okay, so actually, we'll start at the very, very beginning. One of our followers, inside CGA, that's California's Great America. Those guys over there. He mentioned because you can buy alcohol there. Okay, so that was an easy answer. Okay,
I don't know. Is that better? Does it make it better because of that? I don't know.
I don't know. Does that make it better for you, Sam?
Well, I think it is a perk of going to California Adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you're going to have a top 5 list of reasons why it might be better, I think that would be on it. Probably number 5, not number 1. But hell yeah, it's a perk. I mean, to be honest, I think it's a little silly that you could buy it at California Adventure, but you can't buy it at Disneyland. Even though, there's Club 33 and then now Galaxy's Edge. I do think that this is sacrilegious, I know. I think they should just start selling alcohol at Disneyland. I've said it. There, I said it.
Okay.
Because, and I think we'll get into this later when we talk about reasons why we like DCA better. But remind me later on that subject because
Sure.
I think it ties into one of our notes for why DCA might be better.
Okay, absolutely. Next from the Disney Universe podcast, he says Frozen Jack and Coke. Okay, that's
Exactly.
They are very, very good.
I've
said.
not had one yet. Nicole 714 just has icons of various alcoholic beers, champagne. Looks like a wine.
I'm feeling a theme here.
Oh, okay. Our friend Marcus Bueller. For those of us that can go on a day without drinking, it's not better. Never will be. But it's pretty grand on its own merit. The liquor doesn't hurt. Oh, okay, yeah. So we got a liquor theme going on. And then Jennifer said, "Is there any?" LOL. And then I said, "Hey, we're just trying to give it a fighting chance." And then she said, "Okay, there are things I love about DCA, but if I was going to choose one, I would always choose the Disneyland hands down. There isn't much I don't like. There isn't much I don't like about DCA. Some of my favorite things are Cars Land, Art of Animation Building, Goofy Sky School, and how they decorate for Halloween." Okay.
All good.
Goofy Sky School. That's surprising.
That's very surprising.
Very.
That thing scares me like crazy.
Well, I'm just ready for that to go the way of the Animal Kingdom roller coaster too. It doesn't belong in a Disney park, but at least it has that theming upgrade from 2012.
Yeah, that's right. It does. Yeah, those Mad Mouse things crazy.
I don't like them.
No. I feel like I'm going to die every single time. But she's right about the Halloween decorations. We'll get to that. Okay. Furrow Disney Cat said, "I like them both equally, but DCA has alcohol, so sometimes that's fun." Okay.
Again.
So that's reason enough to mention the alcohol. I mean, it's
Right.
everyone's first go-to.
Right.
I think half of that is just being silly.
Of course.
But yeah, it is kind of a cool thing, especially when it comes down to the festivals later. Like, you can't do that at Disneyland. So the way I look at it is DCA is better in a sense than Disneyland for all the things you can't do at Disneyland. You can do it at DCA.
Sure. Okay. My Other 32 said, actually, I really like their holiday theming, Halloween and Christmas. The wider walkways are nice and Cars Land. Yep. Very solid answers right there.
Yep.
We'll get to those.
Better than the booze.
The boo. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Laura out of Hawaii, she said, the great things about DCA are Cars Land, Guardians, and the Incredicoaster. My kids are getting older. They are more thrill-seeking now and like some of the rides better at DCA. They love Goofy Sky School, too, and being able to have a beer is nice. That said, I'll always love Disneyland more. Yeah. Yeah, we got to throw that in there at the end because, you do like that more. But but she brings up a good point about the thrill rides. Popcorn Yeti shows up again. The entrance and vicinity to a resort hotel. Also alcohol.
Ooh, good call on the hotel.
Yeah.
Yes.
Grand California, and I think people really kind of forget about what an amazing hotel that is.
Absolutely.
That is definitely a Florida quality type of hotel. That lobby is beautiful, especially during Christmas. If you've ever got a chance to go grab a drink, oh man, we sound like a bunch of boozers, but if you've ever had a chance to go to that, grab a drink and sit by that fireplace, I know where I'd want to be right now. That's definitely a good place to hang out.
Where do you usually get a drink while you're there? At the Hearthstone?
Well, there's that bar. I forget what it's called, but it's the bar just around the corner from the fireplace in the lobby.
Okay.
I don't know the name of it.
Okay, yeah, I don't know what that is. I know the Hearthstone Lounge is around over there.
That might be it. I think that's what it's called.
Okay. And I know Napa Rose, but I don't think you can just get a drink and walk out. I don't know. We'll see. We'll talk about
Why
that.
would you want to? They got the piano player and a nice toasty fire. And speaking of Jack and Cokes, it's not frozen, but they're strong there.
There you go.
Well, that helps. A little pro tip right there. Next one from Reich. This is my mom. It seems to be less crowded in general. The selling of alcohol is not an enticement for me as I want to fully experience the park, and alcohol, just my opinion, is a deterrent. I like the nostalgia of the boardwalk. I like the fact that there does not have as many interruptions to my day and evening by cordoning off areas for parades and often as Disneyland. Don't get me wrong, I decidedly favor Disneyland, just trying to answer the question. Okay. So I'm guessing she likes the fact that, I'm trying to understand in between the lines what she's saying here. She doesn't like the fact that she's told to do like circular flow all the time there. And in the evenings when Disneyland starts doing all their stuff, walk this way, walk that way. This is not a standing area. It's yeah. So DCA doesn't seem...
especially for like fireworks and Fantasmic. I mean, that definitely makes the park kind of locked down in areas.
For sure.
That makes sense. That's a valid point.
Yeah. But that's why we're always on the west side, man. When that happens, we're not dealing with that.
Right?
Right.
Yep.
Okay. Fernando strikes back. Obvious answer: alcohol. But on a different note, California Adventure is a hot. Okay, he's going off the rails, so but we're gonna follow him. California Adventure is a hot chick or a good-looking dude who dresses cool, while Disneyland is a timeless beauty or old school handsome dude that everyone and their grandma has feelings for. That gives Cali Adventure a few That gives Cali Adventure a few advantages over its more timeless neighbor. For one, they're able to experiment more. Disneyland is supposed to be always changing, but I don't think Walt counted on future APs having a cow over each and every change made. Even if people come to love, there's always something, always that wait not to. What's he even saying? I'm sorry, I can't even understand what he's even saying here. Even if people come to love it, there's always that. Wait, no, not my insert favorite attraction thing. Okay. California Adventure doesn't have that as much because the history and connections aren't as deep. I agree here. Yeah, most of the time people shrug it off and go on about their churro. California is also better for a date night. The drinks, food, and rides, and the way it is spaced out make for a good place to sip a beverage and munch on something while talking between attractions. Ride the Incredicoaster and grab a beer on your way to Cars Land. I don't know how else to explain it, but sometimes it's kind of freeing to not be tied down to traditions or rituals that way you are downtown, the way you are at Disneyland. California Adventure plays more fast and loose and is completely laid back in a sense when compared to Disneyland. I miss both, though. Downtown Disney the other day was fun, but not quite the same. A lot to unpack there. So He does touch on some of my stuff that I want to talk about too, but yeah, very good answer, Fernando.
I like that Fernando mentioned the whole thing about tradition.
Yes.
Disneyland's been around forever. You know, 65 years.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of tradition that comes with that. And DCA kind of broke free of a lot of that. It's different in a lot of ways, and some of those differences are really good.
Yeah.
That's why there's a lot to talk about there.
Sure, absolutely.
Someone else mentioned too about the wide walkways.
Yeah.
There's something to be said about that as well. That both is a good thing and it really hurt it too. If you think about when the park first opened, they designed it with today's thinking in a way. Well, 2001's thinking, where they have those wide walkways, like something more like Epcot, or Disneyland is so intimate. I think that's the best word to describe it. It is compact, especially compared to Florida. It's a real intimate type of park with a lot of little walkways. DCA doesn't have that. DCA has one humongous performance corridor going up the middle of it, and it's almost like Galaxy's Edge. They thought all these people were going to flock to it, and then they didn't. So DCA had the same problem where they thought it was going to be jam-packed, and they designed with that in mind, and guess what? They didn't flock to it. In fact, the opposite. And the fact that they planned for it to be so wide open that when very few people showed up, it looked barren, like it looked like tumbleweeds. I remember I worked opening day, and it was empty. It was insane. I think a lot of people were scared off because they thought it was going to be crazy crowded. Like just the idea, wow, they're opening a second gate at Disneyland. Like keep me away from that because it's going to be a nightmare.
Sure.
Well, everyone stayed away. And then, it had a bad rep because they did kind of cheap out on a lot of stuff. But I think in 2012 they fixed a lot of that. Yeah. But it's interesting because I think that's definitely a characteristic of DCA but it does have very wide walkways compared to Disneyland. Yeah,
for sure. That's a good answer there. First Prime Alpha said, I feel DCA's best quality is that they are not steeped in tradition. Disneyland is and was perfect and doesn't warrant any large changes, Galaxy's Edge notwithstanding. However, DCA was unfortunately a flop from the go. As much as I appreciated the Eisner era, DCA just didn't work on a standalone park. Changes made over the last decade has drastically made the park a destination instead of an add-on. This tradition of constant change opens the way for TDA to greenlight future projects without the blowback from Disneyland purists like myself, and creates an environment to test new rides without erasing history. That's Adam. He brought that up. Very good answers right there, and we'll touch on that, I think, when we start talking about it. Cool Jerk, that's one of our friends here, said there is no way that DCA is anywhere near better than Disneyland. And for the people that say alcohol, they are very sad. Sorry, not sorry. If you need alcohol to help you give you a good time at either parks, then you're going for the wrong reasons.
Wow.
Okay, that's fine. He's got some points there.
Calling people out.
Yeah, I mean, okay. One of our friends, Disney Millennial.
That person's ever been to Trader Sam's.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I think Jacob has.
Yeah.
Was he there when you guys were there?
Yeah.
He could have been. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, but I know he drinks. He's had a drink with us, hasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
You're not. The point he's making is that the park is good, and if you think you need alcohol to make it better, that is the problem.
Right. I gotcha. Well, I gotcha. Okay.
But I don't think that's why they're having drinks to make it better. I think they're just having a good time.
Sure. Yep, absolutely. Next one is from Disney Millennial Mama. I don't think I could ever say it's better than Disneyland as it applies to oranges. It's an apples to oranges kind of thing. I think they offer different yet awesome experiences, and I don't think I would ever visit the resort and only visit one park. I have to go to both. And that's actually a good point. I love going to both.
Well, yeah, you have
Me
to.
too.
Yeah. And then we're going to wrap it up with Jose. Of course, there are better things in DCA. One of them, I would say, is that it has more space. This gives it more opportunity to expand. Attractions are not so tight that one next to each other. Being this park built 40 years later, it was planned to fit in more of the new technology. For a nighttime show, there is way more chance to add newer technologies into Pixar Pier than Rivers of America. Another one is the fact that ever since it was open, it has not yet gotten a solid identity and theming. I would take it as an advantage. Due to this, a whole land can be torn down and built a new one, and nobody cares. At least not as much. People cared about Hollywood Tower of Terror, but it was quickly forgotten with Mission Breakout. They did it right. Nobody cared about the Maliboomer or the whole Paradise Pier, and they seem to get it right with Pixar Pier. They can keep going. They can keep doing this as a trial and error experiment until they get it right, and that feeling of nostalgia when an attraction or a whole land is changed does not hurt that much. Not to mention the fact that they have even more space behind DCA in case they want to expand even more. All right. Good answers there, Jose. He brings up some stuff about was probably going to be probably my number one reason why I thought it had the advantage, but we'll get to that. But when he said things people don't care about lands being torn down,
I got to disagree with that.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
Exactly for the Bugs Land, I honestly didn't care when that was ripped out. I mean, we knew what we were getting instead of Bugs Land, so it wasn't for nothing.
Sure.
But I would be pretty bummed out if they got rid of Hollywood, or especially Grizzly Peak. Now
oh my
that those
gosh,
trees finally grew in. That'd be heartbreaking to lose Grizzly Peak.
Yeah.
And then even Paradise Pier, I don't think they got it right with Pixar Pier. I'll be honest. I think it was way better before Pixar Pier.
Yeah.
And I could go on and on about that. That could be its own show.
Sure.
I would say that I think peak DCA was the 2012 redo, when everything was elevated to feel more like Disneyland, and it's just it was almost like the entire park was one land at that point. Every different area made sense to each other. You had the boardwalk. Paradise Pier was made to be more of 1930s, and it was like a Mickey Mouse type park. And you had 1930s Hollywood. You had a freaking Walt Disney Land with Buena Vista Street.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, I know. I think that I would call that peak DCA before the Avengers stuff. But we got to wait and see how the Avengers Land is, and I think it's going to be amazing.
Oh yeah.
If it's anything like Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Sure.
And luckily, having an Avengers Land helps explain why Guardians is there. Because before Avengers Campus, you're just scratching your head, why is this in Hollywood?
Oh, absolutely. I had those same thoughts.
It does still hurt though to see Guardians behind Carthay, because I thought it was so perfect to see Hollywood Tower of Terror right behind Carthay.
Yeah.
It just kind of tied the whole park together. But I think we'll wait and see. Luckily, Guardians is an amazing ride, and they did it right. And I was the biggest naysayer. I was so pissed off when they announced it.
I think a lot of us were. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So luckily, it's the best thing at DCA. Who would have thought it'd be that good? But
totally right.
Just wait and see.
Yeah. Okay, so let's do our top 5 then. Let's go, I guess, and we'll let you start first. Just real quick though, Sam, about DCA, and I've often thought about this. If this park were located, let's say, I don't know, in Valencia or something like that, some distance away from Disneyland, do you think it would be anywhere as successful?
Ooh, that is a good question. I'm going to say no. I think a lot of people happen to go to it because, I don't think the draw of knowing that there's a park called Disney's California Adventure would be able to pull people in on its own. I think people go because it's next to Disneyland.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think
would agree.
if it was a different theme, say it was a Star Wars and Marvel theme park, hell yeah, I think people would go on those merits alone. They want to go check that out. That's destination.
Oh, sure.
But
Yeah.
I think the tone on its own isn't enough to stand on its own. But I think it's just right to accompany Disneyland, especially now that it has Buena Vista Street. Definitely not so much when it was the hip and edgy Golden Gate Bridge and all nonsense from the beginning.
Yeah.
Once they fixed it, it was right on. I have so much fun there, and it's there's better parks out there, but I just really love the hell out of it.
Yep.
But I gotta confess, So here are my credentials of being like a humongous DCA fan. When I was working at Disneyland, I started in 1995. So I was working there when they announced it, when there's going to be a second gate. And I was even following before I was a cast member, when they announced Westcott in the early 90s.
Right.
But then in the later 90s, I'm working there, and they announced California Adventure. I was all about it. I didn't care what it was. I was just, sweet, we're finally getting the second park. Because, I was always jealous of Florida having 3 at the time, and then they had 4.
Right.
And plus, being a cast member, I was able to go up to Imagineers a couple times because I was in entertainment. We would do some random projects. So I remember touring backstage at WDI in the late 90s, seeing models and walking through stuff and having these experiences that I was learning about what's going to come to the new park. And it's true that all the Imagineers that were at Glendale at the time, they were way more excited about Tokyo Disney Sea than they were California Adventure. But I was still stoked about California Adventure just because, hey, it's a second gate. Finally, it's happening.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you this quick story. So I was at Imagineering, and there was this humongous drawing that was framed on the wall in the lobby. And it was a blue sky sketch of Superstar Limo. And I'm just staring at it. And it looks like they hired a Mad Magazine artist to draw it.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm looking at it, and every little detail, I'm just blown away that they're able to do this. And I'm not even kidding. Marty Sklar walks by, and I knew who he was right away. And he sees some kid. I was probably like 19 at the time. He sees some kid looking at this thing intensely, and Marty said to me, he's like, "So, what do you think?" And I'm like, I love this. He said, "Well, what do you like about it?" And I'm like, "Well, look right here. There's a freeway that has a white Bronco, and it's followed by a bunch of cop cars. Are you serious?" And he's like, "What?" And then I'm like, "And look over here. If you go over here in Hollywood, you're going next to Dream Jerk Studios. That's hysterical." And he's like, "Wait, what?" And he looks closely at it, and he just says to himself, "Jesus Christ!" And he just walks out.
Oh my
away.
gosh!
Like, oh my gosh! So I single-handedly may have ruined Superstar Limo.
Oh,
being as cool as it could have been. But
that's an awesome
I think
story.
What really changed it was obviously the paparazzi chase with, unfortunately, Princess Diana.
Yeah.
Was the real thing that changed that, because that was supposed to be a real thriller, and they had so much going for it.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't want that to be an e-ticket, the whole paparazzi chase thing. They just thought it would be in bad taste.
Yeah.
So they just made it a Mr. Toad's Wild Ride of DCA.
For sure.
But
yeah.
so even like having those experiences, and even like, so I was in the parade department driving floats. I was actually driving like a big shuttle bus of investors and Disney company people and I don't know who else, but I was doing construction tours while they were building the park too.
Oh,
so
nice.
I'm so familiar with the park and its construction. Like I was driving, I even got the bus stuck in the Paradise Bay before there was water in it. Like I have so much, I don't know, my credentials were spot on for anyone that really loves DCA, because I really feel like I was there from the beginning.
Oh, yeah.
I opened up Eureka. I was in charge of the drivers for Block Party Bash. And my last gig, before I left the company, before I left Disney Company, I was one of 2 art directors that did the rededication ceremony for it. So that's why I'm a little biased about 2012. And
for sure.
And stuff. So we did the Cars Land grand opening, and we did the Buena Vista Street opening. And so being a part of that, I'm all about DCA.
Cool. You definitely have got a lot of time and motion invested into this park. So yeah, you're a great person to be talking about this.
Right.
Yeah. All right. So let's do, starting with Sam. What's your? Did you write them down, Sam?
I have some like chicken scratch here, but
Okay, sure. Okay.
More than me.
When I
Okay.
was thinking about like 5 reasons, in a way they all kind of blend together.
Sure.
So it might not be just an exact 5, but
Okay, yeah, okay.
it boils down to everything that you can't do at Disneyland that you can do in DCA.
Mm-hmm.
And that means, yeah, it might be some more thrill rides. It's not just the alcohol, but yeah, that is a nice perk. But it's, can you imagine Incredicoaster or Soarin' or Guardians of the Galaxy at Disneyland? Mm-hmm. You can't. The scale is off. You can't have those kind of like epic, massive attractions in Disneyland. It'll just kind of throw everything off. So one reason I like DCA better is that you can do these ridiculously oversized, huge attractions. Like you would never be able to do Screamin' at DCA, at Disneyland. Like, where would you put it, first of all?
For sure.
But it's that type of stuff. Like the size and the scale, like Disneyland, like we said, it's so intimate. It's small. There's little pathways, where DCA is nice and bigger. It feels more open. It feels more free. And that allows you, I think, to do another thing that's one of my favorite things there is just like the events and the festivals.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think you pull off a food and wine festival at Disneyland. It just wouldn't work out,
no,
right?
not at all.
And what I mentioned earlier about alcohol at Disneyland, I really miss Electronica. I thought that was so awesome. Even though it was a total commercial for Tron.
Yeah.
And that's the only reason I wanted a Tron 3. I'm just, there's something with Tron 3 coming out. I was finally got the green.
I heard
really,
that rumor.
That needs to be a Disneyland. That needs to be in Tomorrowland.
Yeah.
Yep.
What? Tron 3 coming out?
Yeah, the rumor mill is
having the events.
Tron, yeah.
Oh, sorry. I'm sorry, Sam. Go ahead.
And no, that's cool. So just the fact too, with Buena Vista Street, I really feel like, I call it like a Walt land, like tongue in cheek, but it is an extension of Walt's, his history. Thinking about if Main Street USA is Walt's childhood, and then he takes the train to LA in the 30s, well, the two parks, it has like the train in between, the train station, and then you have LA in the 30s when he arrived, and he's not the icon. He's just the man. He's just this guy coming with his suitcase and a dream, and he's starting it up. But the fact that there's like a park a land dedicated to Walt, there's no other Disney theme park that could own that. It just doesn't exist.
Yeah, you're right. That's a bigger point.
And even though people don't know that, maybe not everyone knows that walks through the gates, but if Carthay represents Snow White and like his first big gamble and what really made the whole company, that's a really cool new icon for the park too. I'm really glad that they chose Carthay Circle Theater for that. And even though it's just a restaurant and a bar, I just think it's really meaningful to like diehard Disney fans and people that really love Walt. The fact that land exists is pretty cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. Going on with that, I guess one of the things that I like about DCA is that it does have more. I mean, I think all the food at Disneyland is kind of traditional now. I mean, and not a whole lot. I mean, you've got your staples with, Plaza Inn and Carnation Cafe and Blue Bayou and stuff like that. But you've got, I think, a lot more daring opportunities, like a culinary daring at DCA. That seem to appeal to a different like a different category. And so like Carthay Circle, and that I feel embarrassed to admit I haven't eaten there yet. I'm like, I know Jess has, and I don't think Oogie has, but it's definitely on my list. I'm usually with my daughters, and they're not into anything remotely close to what Carthay Circle offers.
Yeah.
But it's definitely on my bucket list of things to do, but I admire that. And then I have had a meal over at the Wine Country Trattoria with my sister last time I was there, and that was a whole different experience that I had never had before. And I was blown away by that whole I just felt like they've done like a really good job over there, and they bring this whole new experience to park goers that Disneyland just doesn't have. I mean, I really enjoyed that. So like the whole food thing is one advantage that, if you want to try something new and a little more daring, DCA is definitely your spot. And now I do understand that Disneyland is ramping up their stuff for like holidays. They've got special food offerings for that kind of stuff, but those come and go. But the ones at DCA seem to be there more frequently.
We got to mention the Lamplight Lounge and Lobster Nachos. Like, where are you going to get that at Disneyland?
Oh, totally, right? Yeah. Right? Yeah. Yeah. Holy cow. Okay.
And I know, people hop on Pixar Pier, and I know I do too. It does have some cool things inside of it, but as a whole, I don't really care for it. Mm-hmm. It's just, I don't know, because it takes you out of the whole vintage vibe. Because, when you had it's Walt's story where he showed up to LA in the 30s. Then you have Hollywood in the 40s. You have this cool airfield. You have the Grizzly Peak in the 50s, I would say. And then you kind of had Paradise Pier was like that 30s vibe. And now Paradise Pier, now that it's Pixar Pier, there's really no era to it. You have this mid-century modern entrance to the coast, to the roller coaster. But I would say that the parts of Pixar Pier that work the best are the ones that still feel like that vintage seaside Victorian look.
Yes.
But when you try to make it like Toontown, like the Inside Out emotional whirlwind, I'm like, come on. But the parts that still feel vintagey, then that part's still cool. But I think that the biggest hit is the Lamplight Lounge.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. Absolutely right. I mean, that's such a beautiful location, what they have there, for sure, the Lamplight Lounge. That was Ariel's Grotto before or something, or wasn't that?
Ariel's Grotto.
Ariel's Grotto,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah. When it opened, it was a Wolfgang Puck.
Yep, I remember that, Matt.
It was a what?
A Wolfgang Puck.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Wolfgang Pucks.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Jess, you have any top 5 things? Or 5? Or
Alcohol.
Alcohol. Okay.
Yeah, and I had a bunch, and the walkways. But I had a bunch, but everyone's hitting everything, so I've kind
Sure.
of just let it kind of go out the window.
I'm in the same boat as you, Jess. I mean, the opening, the walkways are one. You know, I kind of remember I had already moved up here when they announced that they were going to open that up, and what I can remember is coming down. I'm trying to remember what year it was when we came down when it had opened. So it kind of gave me what it meant to me, and I don't want to, maybe not better, but it added to it, is having that thrill of a new park. And I hadn't felt that way, going to Disneyland as a kid. When you're a kid, you have that thrill of going. And then it kind of like added to it. So I can't really say it's better, but it like it gave it its own unique place in my heart, if that makes sense, because I kind of had a chance to relive that excitement about going to a brand new park in a place that I was very familiar with. So walking in that, it gave me a whole new area to explore. So again, not necessarily better, but it kind of bridged that gap of not having anything new for a while and then having a whole new, park to go look at. But then, they didn't do a very good job opening, but, we've improved.
Sure.
So for me, that is one. Alcohol.
I agree with that, for sure.
Yeah. Alcohol is there. And then the other thing that I do enjoy about that park, and I don't know if it was going to be... I really don't have a good way to enumerate them, but the other thing that you do, it is a different vibe, and it isn't like negative. Before, you kind of had before, you kind of you felt like you were taking a half or a 3/4 step down.
Yeah.
And that may be rough for some people, but it's how you felt. Once you got to know it, once I kind of figured it out and kind of figured out what was going on there, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back across the Esplanade because I had that.
Yeah.
But when they redid it, and they did a lot of things that made it, it gave it a little bit more of its own soul. Cars Land opening. Again, Mark, you were with me the first time I rode there because I hadn't been there in forever.
I was just thinking about that the other day. I was fortunate enough to go on Cars Land with you on your first time.
Yep.
Radiator Springs Racers, and to go on Rise of the Resistance with you on your first time.
Yep.
Oh, and probably Smuggler's Run, of course.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
That's awesome, man.
Yeah. And so to me, the one thing that is better is that it gives it the open air quality to it is better. And the other thing is having a more modern isn't the right word, but it has a different vibe that I guess modern would be the right word. A lot of people brought up tradition and classic and there is a lot of validity to that argument. I think having a classic, iconic theme park like we do in Disneyland, and then having that right across the way, which we can go in and explore different things with a different feel, with a lot more willingness to open up. So that is definitely a vibe, a positive with that. Without people like us hemming and hawing over the park bench being moved. Yeah.
Totally right. Yeah.
Well, it's funny too. Building on that, I think that it's interesting because I always thought about DCA as kind of like the new stuff, and Disneyland would be like the old stuff or classic stuff, right?
Yes.
Well, ironically enough, if when you think of DCA as like the home of the new stuff, but you have this 1930s LA themed the wall in the white, so it's a little hypocritical for me to say that. But like you have like some of the new classics would be more appropriate for DCA, but rather than like splitting it up between old stuff and new stuff, I look at it as what could be considered more real life and what is more fantasy. And the perfect example of that is why Star Wars ended up at Disneyland and why Avengers ended up in DCA.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Tony Stark has a Malibu mansion, right? So that's enough for me to think, all right, I'm cool with Avengers being in DCA because the main character lives in California. Like, fine. It's a little silly, but like it's a little justification because people love to crap on DCA. But
they
when
do,
it comes down to it, that's perfectly appropriate. Where Star Wars, it's very fantasy. It's sci-fi, but it's the Force. It's like this weird thing, and it's like that's not real world. So I think it's perfectly appropriate for Disneyland. So it kind of goes to that too, like why they're different and how they're different. You could really kind of like dissect each park a lot like that. And it doesn't go all the way around because it's not all fantasy at Disneyland because you have Main Street USA, you have New Orleans, so those are based off real areas.
Yeah.
More so New Orleans, that's a city in America. But, Main Street's kind of like the idea of a perfect small American town.
Sure.
Where DCA, it's way more rooted in just realism, not so much the fantasy. Like
Right.
even with Incredibles and with Avengers and just Hollywood stuff. That's a cool way to think about each park differently.
Absolutely, yeah. Like in terms of theming, and I had always maintained that New Orleans Square, Adventureland, and Frontierland, it to me was the best thing as far as theming goes. But telling you, like a Grizzly Peak, I think is also just spectacular.
Oh yeah.
That area even in the even like in the nice early evening when the sun starts setting down, it is beautiful back there. It's a nice like reprieve from just the heat, and like the lights flicker on, and I love it. I love that, and like Buena Vista Street is absolutely gorgeous, and they've done such a wonderful job
especially for Halloween, right?
Oh yeah, I was gonna get to that. That's another thing is that when they announced that they were gonna bring it back to DCA, because I think the Halloween party started at DCA, didn't it?
I when I was still working there as an art director, I did a couple of them at DCA, and then it went back to Disneyland.
So when
it was Mickey's Halloween Tree,
yeah. So when they took it out of Disneyland a couple years ago, I was like, oh crap! And now what are they going to do? But then I got to experience that, and while Disneyland was still really nice doing its pumpkins and Haunted Mansion overlay and all this other stuff, when we went over to DCA, just walking through Buena Vista and seeing those purple lights, I was like, holy crap! These guys have brought it. And it was just...
It was next level.
Yeah, it was some next level stuff, man. And I was like, okay, I want to see more of this now. I just... Because, Haunted Mansion lends itself to Halloween stuff. But, and so did Tower of Terror. And that's another thing that kind of pissed me off. I was thinking, well, see, Tower of Terror would have been perfect for this. But Guardians of the Galaxy was... yeah, I still had a good time.
At Halloween, it's the best time, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to do that
with the whole Monsters After Dark. My God.
We didn't we do that, Woody?
Yeah.
or something.
I don't remember.
Oh, okay, I have been on it.
Yeah.
At that, I forget who I was with. I think my daughters, but I don't know what we did. But no, just the Halloween stuff is they actually. I'm not sure if it's an advantage, but it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. I'll just say that. What else is there? I know some other people talked about traditions where, like, if we're at Disneyland and Jungle Cruise is shut down or parks are shut down, it's like, oh, crud. I'm a little upset. But at DCA, I don't really have. I mean, as like Fernando mentioned, it's pretty fast and loose over there. If I don't ever go the same direction twice there. Do you, Sam? Do you have a certain pattern or any traditions you have there?
No, I mean, not like Disneyland, I mean, yeah, I go to the Starbucks first, probably, but like,
yeah.
With Disneyland, it's kind of like if you have an all day at Disneyland, I'm the kind of guy that goes straight up Main Street and then I'll start at Adventureland and kind of go around the park that way.
Mm-hmm.
But for DCA, no, I think it just depends if I'm hungry or not. Like, but I can't help just walking straight back to the park first. Like I just love walking that performance corridor, and then you make that turn and you see the pier in the distance. And if I would love someone to have their first visit be at, like when you have one of those bitchin' California sunsets. Yeah. But when you turn and see the pier for the first time and the sun's kind of setting behind it, you're like, this is a postcard. This is really spectacular. The sunsets in DCA just look really cool to me.
Yeah, no, you're right.
No, they're beautiful.
Yep, they are. Is there any food?
But yeah, it's kind of free flowing. It's a weird figure 8 kind of looking park, right? And
yeah.
Now that you can't connect with Avengers Campus, like it's going to be a lot better and more of a figure 8 when you have that area open up. There's a good flow to it, and it's different than that whole spoke and wheel that Disneyland has, which is good. You don't want it to be like a copy of Disneyland, so it's good that it's a little different shape, but there's still flow to it for sure.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, there is. Yeah, absolutely there is, and I think it'll be better once Adventures Campus opens up. And I'm not like a Marvel guy at all, but I'm definitely excited to see that. And in fact, we should have been seeing it right about now, right? Right.
That's sad, right? Yeah, we just missed the opening.
Yeah, that would have been last week.
My things about Spider-Man, the whole Web Slingers ride. Yeah, I'm hearing it's a lot of fun, and it's tough too because if you've ever been to Florida's park. Out to Orlando, and you've been on Islands of Adventure, you've been on a really good Spider-Man ride. So how do you do another one that's not that, right? So it's got a lot to live up to. And I think they went the right way about it, because if you think about the kiddos, like I have 3 kids, but I have 4-year-old twins, and my son loves Spider-Man. He is so stoked about it. And when I told him that they're building a Spider-Man ride, he's just all about it. Anytime he sees construction, he's like, are they building Spider-Man ride too? I'm like, no, that's just at California Adventure. But I like that they made this geared for the whole family, that it's not a thrill ride, and that the fact that, because have you done the meet and greets with Spidey at Hollywood at DCA?
I've walked by him.
Yeah, I've walked by him. I don't remember seeing Spider-Man there though. I saw.
They're really cool, and the guys that they have doing Spidey. If you think about it, like when I was a kid, it was all about seeing. I would make this comparison a lot, but like you're so stoked to see Peter Pan, and to me that was my go-to. I'm like, oh, it's awesome that you could go to Disneyland and see this. Well, here's my kid with that same level of hype, but he's there to see Peter Parker. You know what I mean? Like, and
yeah.
At first, when I was kind of like wondering, like, why did Disney buy Marvel? I didn't get it. Well, now that I have kids and I see these kids going to meet their characters, I'm like, that's why Disney bought it, because like they're able to kind of bring them to life.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah, that's a really good point about that. Now, is there any food advantages that you think people are missing at DCA that they should try? If
Lamplight Lounge is obviously amazing. It's kind of funny, like you look at that line for the corn dogs over at Disneyland.
Yeah.
The corn dog castle is just as good. To me, it's the same. So,
oh boy,
you can't forget the corn dog castle.
Okay.
And that's, if you think about it, that's DCA 1.0 stuff. That
Sure.
kind of survived everything. You know, so there's Corn Dog Castle. I think that's always good to check out. Especially if you're on the move and you don't want to have to sit down for a full meal.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny when you said you've never eaten at Carthay. I mean, I've only eaten there once.
Okay.
I've never eaten at that winery ever.
Oh.
And so, like, I'm kind of jealous that you had that awesome meal because it looks amazing. So that's always good.
Yeah.
But as far as like go-to restaurants, the fact that they have Carthay, I have to lean towards that. Like
Okay.
I mean, the park's icon is a restaurant, right?
Sure.
And if you're a fan of Walt like I am, the whole lobby downstairs is just like a museum. Like there's pictures of Walt going to movie premieres, and there's a really cool picture of Walt and Julie Andrews.
Oh.
And I'm forgetting her name, but it was the girl that
Shirley Temple?
no, but it's a girl, because I think the girl that played in My Fair Lady, which is a movie that Julie Andrews played on Broadway.
Oh yeah, who was that?
But the girl from My Fair Lady got the Oscar for it, I think. But like people were kind of like bothered that Julie Andrews didn't get casted in that. Well, that's when Walt was like, "Well, don't worry, I got another role for you," and that's when he gave her Mary Poppins. So it's just a really cool picture. Like if you know history and like all that kind of stuff, you see photos of like from it.
Okay.
It's just so I could spend all day with an old fashioned in my hand, and I'm just looking at all these pictures on the wall like a total dork. But it's a palace inside. You got to try to get in there.
It sounds very akin to what Steakhouse 55 is in like as far as the pictures go.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Yeah, there's some great photos in there.
Okay, so
all
yeah.
those photos of Walt with his cigarettes photoshopped out.
Yeah. Right. Oh, is that true?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, definitely. In fact, I have a theory.
Oh.
Theory time. This might be like conspiracy theory, but
we don't do that here, do we, Udi?
The whole Disney cast member pointing.
Yeah.
The whole thing where like cast members have to point with two fingers.
Yes.
Because that's how Walt did it.
Yeah.
I have a feeling that picture of Walt holding a cigarette that was photoshopped out, that he wasn't really pointing with two fingers.
Oh, I gotcha. You could be onto something there. Interesting.
I don't know. I'm a little nuts, but I think there's something to that.
Well, if you're a little nuts, you're gonna fit in right perfect with us. Have you tried It's Lemon yet?
Have I tried what?
The It's Lemon soft serve over by the Adorable Snowman.
You know what? I did. Yeah, from Pixar Pure.
Yes,
I did. It was okay.
Okay. It was a game changer, Sam.
Yeah, you know what? I was so hung up on the fact that it's like, but there's snow cones in the movie. Why is he doing soft serve now? I'm a dork where I was kind of getting hung up on that more than anything else. But it was good.
Yeah.
You know what I was hoping for? Because I think when I first had it, I just got back from Disney World, and I was still kind of high off of the like one of those like a Dole Whip citrus swirl kind of thing.
Yes.
And I'm like, to me that was where it's at. Like that to me, that's the epitome. And it didn't come close to that. That's what hurt it.
But didn't they bring that in the Tahitian Terrace? Or I'm sorry, the Tropical Hideaway?
Tropical Hideaway?
Yeah.
I think so, but I haven't tried that one yet, of all things, of course, right?
Oh, yeah. I have had that there. It was good.
Was it?
Yeah. I think, see, one of my traditions for desserts, if I have dessert, it's going to be a Gibson Girl, and I have to have that. But that so It's good. Lemon thing, and I'm telling you, is a game changer. That's essential for me now, that when I go there. For you too? Okay.
I hope the park's open up soon and I could give it another chance.
Absolutely.
Are you guys having withdrawals like I am?
Yeah.
Yeah. I, in fact, just with one of the opening thoughts of tonight was that, my last probably last 4 or 5 summers have been, I can count on like a 5-day or 4 or 5 day trip to the park during the middle of the summer and then right in the fall for Halloween. And that's not happening clearly right now. And I'm just, it's missing right now from me. And it's like, I want to go there and I want to complain about being wet on Splash Mountain and, and I want to run around having like a 9:30 fast pass for Space Mountain and trying to get, and I miss all that stuff.
Yeah.
Me too. Me too. Hopefully one of these days we'll be able to get back there soon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We will.
absolutely.
Any bets on when you think it's going to open?
We did that a couple of
A while ago.
Yeah, a couple of shows ago, and I don't remember where we ended up. I can't recall now. Jess, though, I will give her credit. The original date that they posted, which was July 17?
17th.
The park's birthday.
Yeah, she called it dead on, and then a week later or whatever, they said, "Oh, never,
so
we
sad.
can't do it." Yeah, we were ready. I mean, we had a hotel room ready, Jess, and everything.
Oh, were you going
Yeah.
to go down?
Oh yeah, we were getting ready to go, and then the bad news comes down, and but anyway,
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I said August, late August, when they were going to originally have Celebration. I kind of put my bet maybe around there.
You were going to go to Celebration.
I was going to go to Celebration all 4 days, and I had tons of trips. I had May the 4th trip planned. I had going for a friend of ours, his birthday going, Celebration going. So yeah, I had a few things planned and all gone.
And then we thought about maybe Labor Day weekend. That was a few weeks ago. But now, my guess, I mean, Sam, if I'm going to be honest, if I had to put like my mortgage payment on it, I would say it's not happening this year.
I don't think it is either.
Sadly, I think you're absolutely right.
Yep.
I can't believe I live in a world without Disneyland right now. It sounds very dramatic.
No, it doesn't.
And it's just one of those. It's one of those things like you would never even imagine that like it wouldn't be there. And it's kind of one of those things too. Especially when I picked this career, I'm like, well, it feels good to work at a place like Disneyland. It'll always be there. Well, until this global pandemic comes, it's just sad. It's sad.
It's sad.
But for those things, that when that stuff really bums me out, I just think about if Disneyland being closed is the worst thing in my life right now, I mean,
Sure.
at least, our loved ones are healthy and all that stuff too. So there's that. And I'm always trying to not dwell on the sad stuff for too long, but
Right.
dude, it's a real bummer. I mean, I have 3 little ones and I'm used to taking them to the park every week, really. And the saddest thing was when they're like, hey, can you take me? And I'm like, no. And then they're asking like, why can't we go? It's like, what do you tell these kids? I tell them that, well, people are sick right now. We can't go. They actually closed it down. And it's not as unheard of for them. Like, it's unheard of for us.
Sure.
But they're just like, oh, okay. Well, people are sick. Okay. But it's just crazy.
How far of a drive from your house to Disneyland for you?
I'm 6 miles away.
Oh,
So with no traffic, I'm there in like 10 minutes.
That's awesome, dude.
Wow.
I never took that for granted. It's almost like when we think about where would you want to move, I'm like, why would I move?
Oh, totally. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, for me, I do a lot of thinking. And I was just that I was thinking about. I use Disneyland as an escape from my life and the world and stuff like that. But maybe I don't know. Just maybe we're meant to be focusing on the world right now. And focusing on everything that's going on.
Totally.
And maybe that sort of thing is that's the kind of thing that maybe I try to get myself in that
To
mindset.
reset.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it is.
Well, my comment is that we have all gone through many things in our lives, and we find coping mechanisms, and we find things to recenter. And for us here, and for a lot of people, it is going to the park. And that is one thing that I think is also magnifying what we're going through is the sheer fact that one of our coping mechanisms has been completely taken away from us. And
That's true.
I mean, when you think about it, we go and I've mentioned before on the show, my life over the last 2 or 3 years have been an absolute roller coaster. But the one thing that for sure I had was my AP. I fly down. I'm there for 3 days. And
it's medicine.
And anything I was going through for the 3 days, gone. Gone, not worried about it.
Yeah.
All I'm thinking about is where are we going to go eat? What are we going to go ride? What are we going to go drink after? Are we going to go here? What are we going to do there? And everything else on the planet, it could have been a war, it could be whatever. And no, I'm not thinking about it. So I think that is a big thing that we feel the hit of Disney, but man, it is hyper amplified right now.
Yeah. Well, it's an addiction too, right? I think we could be honest. I know I'm addicted to it. Luckily, it's a vice. It's like some people are addicted to cigarettes. Some people are addicted to going to Disneyland, and I know I am.
Yep.
And I don't know. I grew up there, and I know I'm really lucky to be able to take my kids there all the time. I just feel bad because I have my third kid, Leia, is just turned 2, and now that she knows who the hell Mickey Mouse is, like I can't take her to give him a hug. It's just so weird to think about.
Sure.
And I just feel bad because the twins that are 4, they went all the time, and I feel like they knew cast members' names. Like they're really being raised there, and I'm documenting like crazy because I wish I had pictures of me running around Disneyland when I was 2.
Oh, right.
But and I just think it's so cool. And here's like the best example. I will read them a bedtime story of like Star Wars, A New Hope. And here's Chewbacca in it. And like he knew about Star Wars, not from the movie, but just through this random book that I read to them before they go to bed. And how freaking cool that I get to take them to Disneyland the next day and go meet Chewbacca.
Yeah.
And it's just insane. And I'm like trying not to cry as one of those dads that's with his kids at meeting Chewbacca. But my son, I think he was 3 at the time, he starts asking Chewbacca questions from the storybook. Like,
Oh, geez.
and he's trying to like spit it out. And he's like, so when you were in the garbage chute hiding from the stormtroopers, and then there's that snake in the thing, how did you get out of there? Like his kid's trying to like spit out this question. Chewbacca knew exactly what he was talking about, and he started pretending like he was holding the walls from closing in.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Like he answered it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what world do we live in where you can do that? Like, it just happens to be a random book. He's going to blow his mind when he knows it's a whole, 9 movie series.
Oh, yeah, right.
But he already has a crush on Rey.
Oh, there you go.
And so he loves seeing her. He really loves Z. Not Z. V. What's the character's name? V? Is it V?
Who's V?
From Galaxy's Edge. There's a character.
V.
Yeah, she's amazing.
I don't know who that is.
Just like
The with the blue hair?
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She's so cool.
Okay, I didn't know she had a name.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was supposed to be in Rise of Resistance. She was supposed to be a big part of that.
Yeah, they were gonna have more ties, but we won't go there.
They used her in the promo for.
Yeah, I know, but they didn't
Big
do it, and I
time.
don't know why. But yeah,
Right.
yeah. But
I think they changed that because some of the criticisms of just Galaxy's Edge in general was it didn't really tie to stuff that people knew.
yeah,
I think they loosened up on stories about V. But she's an awesome character, and like we go there all. Fun fact: this happened. This is definitely part of why I like her so much. When I took the kids one time, we were kind of hanging out by Rise of Resistance, and it was it wasn't open yet, but we were kind of hanging out by there, and we saw her, and she starts talking to us about some adventure, and my son says, "Oh well, we're gonna go fly the Millennium Falcon right now," and she's like, "Oh, it's very dangerous. Let me escort you there," and she like full on like took them by the hand and walked them all the way from Rise of Resistance to Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run. And I'm thinking just that alone was cool, right? Because she's hiding from stormtroopers and they were hiding from Kylo Ren. Like, it was great. All the characters were out. And I'm thinking that was it. And then she's like, hold on, stay right here. And she goes, talks to the Smuggler's Run people. They front doored us. Like,
What?
they took us. There was like an hour line and we didn't have to wait. I'm just like, holy crap, Disney magic. This is so cool.
That is awesome.
Like, you just kind of got to like let loose and like just go with the flow. And that happened. It was so neat.
yeah.
Awesome.
That's really cool.
Well, I can kind of relate to that because my brother and we grew up going to the park, and my brother and I are huge Star Wars guys, and he has yet to be able to go down there. And I've been there multiple times, and I for my nephew's 6th birthday built a droid for him. We FaceTimed, and I built it with him. He didn't know that I was building it for him.
Oh, how cool.
He thought I was that I wanted him to give me ideas for my droid.
That's so sweet.
Yeah, and thanks. And so I wound up giving it to him, and I go, hey, look, and I brought it home, and I go, what do you think, buddy? And I showed him how to use it, and I go, you know what his name is? And he's like, what is R2C2? I'm like, oh, really? I go, yeah. And he goes, what is the C for? And I go, it's for Cooper. That is my nephew's name. He goes, he's your droid. And he freaked out over it. And I've gotten my custom sabers done, and I've kind of explained it. But the big thing that ties my family and my brother and my nephew is Star Wars. And we were planning. My brother had already been working on planning for us to come, for everybody to go down probably end of year. And now with everything going on, we don't know what's going to happen. And to me, listening to you, tell that story, I'm like, oh man, I want to, and I've told my brother that, I want to be there and walk it with him, because my brother loves the Millennium Falcon. I mean, no words, and he's going to cry like a baby when he sees it, kind of like
It's
what
true.
I did, and I want to experience it. And that is another thing that I feel like, oh man, we don't have it. And it hurts.
No,
it hurts.
it's right there.
Yeah.
It's right there.
Yeah.
We can't see it.
Yep. But yeah, I totally relate to that, and being able to connect at that level and not having it is not. It leaves a hole. No matter any way you cut it, it's a hole, a big old hole.
Yeah, it's this really sad timeline that we're on. And there's a song in Avenue Q, the last one, and it's called For Now. And it's like, hey, it's only for now. Like, this isn't forever. So hopefully people that are really bummed out about it could focus on that at least.
Yeah. And that's what we're going to choose to do, is just keep talking about fun things like theming at DCA versus theming at Disneyland, and
Exactly.
food and food, and just keeping the spirit alive and getting people talking about this again.
Why they love it.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
when you talk about, this whole thing is a reset, really, if you think about it, right? So if you think about, why, it makes you appreciate it, I guess is what I'm saying.
Sure.
Like it's one thing when you buy your pass and you can go whenever you want, but like, do you take it for granted? It's like, I don't think I did, but man, for a person that's used to going every week, like, yeah, you're addicted. I know I'm addicted, but when you can't go, that you kind of take a look at like, well, wow, why did I go? What was I getting out of it? Right. And
Sure.
like, of course I can't wait to go back, but you realize that it is like a coping kind of thing to make you just get through life, because obviously life's difficult and things happen that suck. But if you have a happy place, and if you're lucky enough to have your happy place be Disneyland, what's wrong with that? I think that's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely right. Okay.
I like it.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, I think we covered all the DCA stuff for tonight. Yeah.
I think so. I mean,
Okay.
We're all big DCA fans, and
Yep, we are.
It's funny because on Twitter, someone said something. I forget who it was, but they said on Twitter, "Are there any DCA stands out there, like super fan?" And of course, like I got tagged in it, and I'm like, I am definitely. And like, in fact, we're talking about it on a podcast tonight.
Yeah.
But
Awesome. Yeah.
I think we all know, it's a little bit tongue in cheek when we say it. Of course, Disneyland is the granddaddy of them all, right? But and if you've seen DCA, where it's come from, and where it is now, and where it's going, right? It's still going places.
Yep.
And funny story I was going to tell you. So I'm lucky enough to have artwork at Wonderground, right? Well, I proposed a painting that's going to be out next year, hopefully by February 8th, because DCA turns 20 next year, which is hard to believe.
That's so odd. Yes.
I know. I'm working on a painting that is DCA. It's a 20th anniversary of DCA painting at Wonderground.
What?
So,
wow, cool.
Like I'm, so it has the Marvel elements. It has the Pixar elements. It has it has Carthay, and I made sure to have like the Walt statue in it. So there's like elements like, because it's such a weird park now. Because in 2012 it made a lot of sense. I thought it was cohesive. They got away from the hip and edgy mistake of what it opened up as. Like they had to fix it. So if you think about it like this, the resort expansion in 2001, I think it cost 1.4 billion. Well, they spent more than that just to fix the park. And the 1.4 billion, it included the Grand Californian, and it included the parking structure, it included downtown Disney, and whatever was left over went to the park. Well, they spent more than that, more than 1.4 on just fixing DCA.
Jeez.
And then I think it shows, like, before Galaxy's Edge opened and it was just Cars Land was the best thing at all of Disneyland.
Yeah,
there's nothing at Disneyland like Cars Land.
Yeah, thematically, yeah, it was hard to beat. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, if you got to visit DCA for the first time and it was on one of those killer sunsets, you got to make a left into Cars Land, not on the main strip, but on that side edge of the Pacific Wharf.
Yes.
You're not in Anaheim. You are transported.
Yeah.
And
that's
luckily, right? And so luckily, we got Cars Land out of it. So I'm glad DCA had the obstacles and the hurdles that it did, because that got us Cars Land. It got us all this extra stuff, and hopefully with Avengers is as cool as, because in theory, before everything hit the fan, Avengers is supposed to be like a balance to Galaxy's Edge. So if it really had that weight, like, how cool for a little park like DCA that found itself at the doorstep of the granddaddy of them all to have something like Avengers Campus and Guardians, and even like it's just a good time, and I love it. That's all there is to say about it. The place kicks ass.
Yeah, awesome. And I'm very curious about this this map or art print you're going to make.
Yeah.
How big is this going to be?
Well, it's digital, but I think I'm going to print it out to be like a 12 by 36. It's a vertical piece that has like a lot of cool. Because here's the thing, this is what I was getting at when I brought it up. So you kind of wonder, like, well, what's the theme to DCA? Like, how does all this stuff fit together?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, it worked out. It was smoother transitions to each land in 2012, but now with Avengers, it does kind of throw it off, right? Because you have Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, well, what is that? Like, sure, my loophole excuse is, well, since Tony Stark was from Malibu, that's my tie-in. But no, but really, like, how is this park cohesive now?
Mm-hmm.
And it is what it is. It's almost just like, well, there's a Marvel area, there's a Pixar area, and then there's a tribute to Walt, like it's a love letter to Walt, Buena Vista Street, and then you happen to have a California National Parks area. So it's very eclectic. It's loosely California, but the big difference between California Adventure back in the day versus California now is that it's not modern day trying to be hip and edgy. The parts that work the best at California Adventure are the ones that transport you to a different era of California. Like, you still have the wharf. It's very Monterey. You even have like those buildings from the San Francisco era, even though it's just bathrooms, right?
Yeah.
You still have that. You have Grizzly Peak, which is amazing. You have the hotel, which is amazing. Because think about that too. You have Grizzly Peak and the hotel. That hotel is part of that land, right? So you have this humongous area, which is humongous. And I will say this, I hope someday we can see anything Country Bears put into the Grizzly Peak. I mean, come on,
God.
hello?
Yeah.
Anything. Even when they have the walk around Big Al, I'm like, it just makes me so happy to see Country Bears at Grizzly Peak. It makes too much sense.
Way too much sense.
But then it doesn't mean that it has to tie back to California specifically, like Avengers. It is what it is. Or like even Pixar Pier. It represents those seaside piers of the past. That's fine.
Right.
But yeah, it's very eclectic now with Avengers, but my goal with the painting is just to tie it all together in something really pretty and something really iconic and something that helps explain, like, well, why is there a park called California Adventure in California? So, because that's like everyone's biggest slam. They're like, and I've been hearing it for 20 years. I'm like, it's a welcome center. Do you know of any other state in the country that could do all this different stuff?
No.
That, you don't. You go surfing one day, you go skiing the next day. It's the entire entertainment industry. You could go to these beautiful national parks. So you have all those components, and then you're going to sprinkle in the Disney stuff. You're going to sprinkle in Avengers stuff. It's killer. It's awesome. Like, what's not to love about it?
Right on, man. So this is going to happen next year, you said, for your painting at Wonderground?
Yes. Hopefully, if everything goes to plan, that's what I'm hoping for.
Cool. And we wanna. I assume you're going to be there to sign stuff.
Well, let's hope so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who knows how everything's going? I'll be wearing a mask probably, but yeah.
No, you won't.
I'm going with no.
I'm going with no. I think we'll be down with that, hopefully. So
I hope so.
yeah, but would love to make it down there for that sort of thing.
Oh yeah, I'm hoping that would happen on February 8th. Luckily, even though the downtime's been going on, I've been still working on some Wonderground stuff. So even though the parks are closed, there's a lot of movement of things that have to happen, and that kind of merchandise design is part of it. Luckily, that some folks are still there, and I'm lucky to still be a part of that.
Awesome. Okay, and again, where can people find out more about your work?
I would, samcarterart.com.
Okay.
I have a lot of my art prints on there. You can find my Disney art at Wonderground. Last year I premiered a really cool Country Bears piece and a Phantasmic piece. So you can go look at those guys. And then I have all my non-Disney stuff on my website for samcarterart.com if you go to the store.
Okay.
And then, always drop me a line, say hi on Twitter. I'm at Cartar Sauce.
All right. Awesome. Well, we've enjoyed talking to you, Sam. A wealth of knowledge and wealth of enthusiasm about the park, and it's infectious. I love it. I love it.
On.
Yep.
To be honest, this podcast could have gone until 3 a.m.
Oh yeah.
Oh, probably. Yeah. If this was a weekend, for sure,
Yeah.
we would have cracked open some wine or something and definitely
I
got
thought
it.
about having a Jack and Coke, especially.
Oh, yeah, right.
earlier.
Oh my gosh.
Well,
Well,
but I think it's kind of what a cool discussion. To start off talking about DCA and how much we love it and why it's better, but then things have to be said about the era that we're in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's good to reflect on all that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I agree, and we do it often, and it kind of because of where we are, it kind of permeates into most of our discussion one level or another. But yeah, we do. I think that is now our coper for a bit. Is a lot of talking.
absolutely.
sure.
Yeah.
Well, anytime, guys. Thanks for having me, and I'll definitely be. I'll come back anytime you want.
Hey, thank you. We appreciate
you.
Yeah,
that.
thank you. And we might have some Tomorrowland talk for you in the future.
Oh,
About,
yeah, for sure.
Right.
Oh, cool. I'm always down.
Awesome, dude. Okay, man, have a good night.
All right, you too. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right.
Good
Bye.
night.
Well, that was an awesome interview with Sam. I think of this guy as part of the family, the LTP family. Again, everyone that we talk to on this show, I just instantly become friends with. Quality people through and through, everyone we meet, and Sam is, again, one of those guys. Clearly, he's passionate about the parks, DCA and Disneyland, and the art and theming, and he's speaking our language, man.
Oh yeah.
So again, go check his stuff out. We will be posting the links on our site and on Instagram as well. And we'd love to make it happen to go down there in February or whenever he's going to debut this artwork. And
That would be great.
hopefully maybe we can get an extra one signed that we can give away in the show or something at some
be
point.
cool.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
I'll have to ask him if we can get an extra one, maybe. Who knows? I know. I'm not enough. I've already said that, so we're gonna try. I don't know. The cat's out of the bag.
Yeah, we got a few months.
Yeah, we'll point up and buy another one and get one out there. So thank you so much for listening to us tonight. Again, if you want to support the show, you can go to our site, leavingtodaypodcast.com, and click on the Patreon logo. You can do it $1, $3, $5. Anything helps. Check out our shirts at tpublic.com and search for Leaving Today Podcast. You can find a selection of shirts and masks and everything, steak knife sets and whatnot, assorted dishes and cutlery. Yeah, Jess, where can people find you?
Let's see. My Instagram is Storybook Jess. My Snapchat code is somewhere down in the pictures of that. And my Facebook is Jessica Farfan. And then Leaving Today Podcast Facebook page is Leaving Today Podcast, 2 words. Leaving Today Podcast.
Awesome. Oogie for more witty banter.
You can find me on all of my socials, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. All HAXGOALIE, Hacks Goalie. You can also find me on my other podcast, The Mando Show, which we cover Disney's Mandalorian and other Mandalorian-related topics.
Awesome.
There,
Yep.
you can find me there.
Okay. You can send an email to the show at info@leavingtodaypodcast.com or follow us on Instagram at leavingtodaypodcast. That's usually our most active account and all that good stuff. This is going to conclude episode number 114. 115 is coming up. I don't know what we're doing. I think we're going to be turning to food, but who knows what we're going to do. But so check it out online, and we'll let you know. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are staying safe. We love you and appreciate each and every one of you. And if you need to reach out to us, feel free to contact us in those on those platforms we just mentioned. All right. Until then, adventure is out there. Yes.
Yes.
And we'll see you in the parks.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Please do not eat my flowers. Booty's gonna spank your butt.
Somebody take these. How many of these?
Mark.
No.
They're going in the trash.
Mark.
My body's just stiff.
We'll give it a bit.
Yeah, give it a second.
Okay. Woo! Good?
Thank you.
You're welcome. No bed sheets.
Why are you yelling at me?
Because I like yelling at you.
But you
Yeah.
make me hot. It's so close, I can feel it.
Kitty.
It's like a breath of fresh air.
Boy, was my face red.